Hi everyone, and welcome to Novel Visions, where we talk about books and stories that should be put on screen. So let's face it, today there is so much available to watch, but a lot of it is garbage. Why are we recycling and retelling the same tired stories when there's genuinely really good work out there that's just waiting to be adapted? I mean, did we really need another version of Children of the Corn? No. Do we need another version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Maybe. I guess for kids today, and I'm sure that I'll watch it because I like C.S. Lewis and I like the story, and Greta Gerwig is gold, but you get where I'm going with this. So before we begin, we have to acknowledge that a lot can happen between the original source material and then what ends up on screen. The extent to which something's a faithful adaptation or whether the changes that are made enhance or detract from the story, the consideration of the actors, the directors, the editors, everything that goes into the actual making of the show or movie could go really, really bad. I'm looking at you, Aragon. But for now, we're going to suspend our snark and imagine the possibilities of seeing really great writing come to screen. Released in 2020, The Only Good Indians is a novel by Stephen Graham Jones. If you're a fan of horror and you don't already know him, you should get to know Stephen Graham Jones. Distilled to its core, The Only Good Indians is a gorgeous and at times brutal story of identity, breaking away from tradition, revenge, and a mother's love, which is transcendent in this book. The story is about four friends who are Blackfeet Native American. And when they were teenagers, they made a conscious choice to violate tradition by pursuing a herd of elk into land that was traditionally reserved for the tribal elders to hunt. The friends end up killing several elk, but a young female did not want to die, so Lewis, one of the friends, shot her again. When he started to field dress her, he saw that she was pregnant. He removes the fetus and buries it, and he commits to using every portion of the mother elk and giving her meat away to the elders on the reservation. However, when they were returning to their truck, the boys are stopped by the game warden and are made to dispose of the elk carvings. Nearly a decade later, the friends encounter the vengeful spirit of the slain elk, who haunts and hunts them all to their bloody end. Because killing something you've already killed once is pretty hard. So the top 3 reasons why I think that this would work on screen. Number 1, and most importantly, would be more Native American representation. Specifically, obviously, this book goes deeper into what it means to be Blackfeet in America today. I am not Native American, but I do know that representation matters. And the more stories that we see, and especially stories that subvert cliched narratives, the better, right? So recently, or semi-recently, there's Reservation Dogs and Dark Winds, both of which are Native stories and are really great, but those are just 2 shows out of thousands about white people, right? Number 2 is the horror. So I'm not a huge fan of gratuitous violence or gore, but in this book, I think that it is balanced and kind of seems to be the appropriate amount. I've read most of Stephen Graham Jones's work, and there is always an element of gore in them, but he doesn't seem to beat you over the head with it. So stupid. But it's not just the physical violence. It's the horror of pain and grief and desperation, and those are just as haunting in this book and upsetting, and it's kind of what ties the monsters of the past to the present. The third reason is the supernatural element. And confession, I love stories with a supernatural or magical element, and it's just something that I'm never going to grow out of or tire of. And here we have a spirit that comes back years later and eventually grows and takes the form of an elk-headed woman who wants to avenge the deaths of her herd and her calf, which is just amazing. I think this would be fantastic as a limited series on a premium network. I could see this being done in the same vein as True Detective, only season 1. A series would really enable this story to unfold on screen without being rushed. And, you know, the book concludes really beautifully. And so there wouldn't, you know, be a need for a second season. It could just be a standalone piece of art. So that's all for today. Let me know if you've read The Only Good Indians in the comments below, or if you think there's another book that's kind of along the same vein that you like better. Yeah, like and subscribe, and until next time, bye.